You set your alarm for 7 a.m., skipped late-night snacks, and even avoided screens an hour before bed. Yet you wake up feeling like you barely slept. Your body's heavy, your brain's foggy, and your pillow might as well have been a brick. It's the kind of exhaustion that no coffee can fix, and it makes the entire day feel like a battle. And here's the worst part. You did everything right. So why does it still feel wrong? Here's the twist no one tells you. Feeling refreshed isn't just about how long you sleep, but how well your brain transitions into rest. Japanese students, despite sleeping fewer hours than their Western peers, often wake up sharper, calmer, and more mentally alert. It's not because they have superpowers or some secret supplement. It's because they approach sleep with intention, not desperation. Most of us treat sleep like an off switch. We work until we crash, hoping the pillow does all the heavy lifting. But Japanese culture respects the transition between wakefulness and sleep as a sacred window. There's a rhythm to how they power down, and it trains the body to maximize rest even in limited hours. It's not about time, it's about technique and consistency. Science backs this up. Sleep quality is heavily influenced by what happens in the 90 minutes before bed. Stress hormones, mental clutter, and erratic routines all tell your brain to stay alert even if you're physically lying down. Japanese students unconsciously apply rituals that lower cortisol, slow brain waves, and prepare their bodies for deeper sleep. These rituals act as cues for the nervous system to let go. This isn't about blackout curtains or luxury mattresses. It's about rewiring how you approach the end of your day with repeatable, calming behaviors. And once you understand that, you can start sleeping smarter, not just longer. The results? You wake up feeling light, sharp, and energized even if you only slept 5 hours. The secret is in how you sleep, not how much. In Japan, students often attend school from morning until evening, followed by late-night cram sessions known as juku. Their schedules are packed, their sleep windows are short, and yet they consistently perform at high levels. You'd expect them to be zombies in class, but many show up focused, alert, and mentally sharp. That alone challenges everything we think we know about sleep. Meanwhile, in countries like the US or Brazil, students with 8 hours of sleep still complain of grogginess and brain fog. They drag through the day, fuel up on sugar or caffeine, and crash again at night. The cycle repeats, and no one questions why enough sleep still doesn't feel like rest. It's not the hours, it's the quality and what happens before and after sleep that truly matters. Japanese students don't rely on monster sleep sessions or miracle routines. Their energy comes from micro-habits baked into daily life, rituals that cue the brain for rest and reset their body for performance. These subtle rhythms allow them to recharge efficiently, even with limited downtime. It's not magic, it's environment, culture, and small consistent behaviors. Even their wake-up process reflects intention. Instead of jolting themselves awake with blaring alarms and checking notifications, mornings begin quietly, folding futons, sipping tea, and walking to school. These slow starts help complete the sleep cycle naturally, not violently. That's why they rise with clarity, while others feel like their brains are still loading. So what explains their alertness? You might assume it's just genetics. The Japanese students are biologically wired for better sleep. But when researchers compared sleep patterns across different populations, they found no unique genetic edge. Their brains aren't faster, their hormones aren't special, and their circadian rhythms work just like everyone else's. What sets them apart is behavior, not biology. Maybe you think it's because they eat cleaner, with less processed food and more balance. That helps, of course, but it doesn't fully explain why they can sleep fewer hours and still wake up fresh. Many health-conscious teens in the West also eat well but still struggle with grogginess. So while diet plays a role, it's not the secret weapon. It's a supportive actor, not the lead. You might also guess that it's sheer discipline, that they push through fatigue with mental toughness. But discipline without structure burns out fast. Japanese students benefit from routines built into their environment. Sleeping, studying, and waking all follow a rhythm. That consistency programs their brain to respond efficiently, with less resistance and more recovery per hour. And no, it's not expensive mattresses, blackout curtains, or sleep-tracking gadgets either. Most Japanese students sleep on minimalist futons in tidy, quiet rooms with little stimulation. Their advantage isn't money, it's intentional simplicity. Everything in their space reinforces rest, from the absence of clutter to the nightly rituals that signal it's time to wind down. Sleep doesn't begin the moment your head hits the pillow. It starts with how you transition your body and mind out of the stress of the day. In Japan, students are taught to wind down gradually, through soft rituals like bathing, stretching, and sipping warm tea. These actions signal the brain that rest is near, and they prepare the body for deeper sleep cycles. A warm bath, common in many Japanese homes, isn't just about hygiene. It raises core body temperature slightly, and as it cools afterward, it triggers the natural sleep response. It mimics the drop in temperature your body needs to enter deep rest. Combined with dim lighting and quiet surroundings, this creates a perfect storm for relaxation without effort. Even the act of putting away school books, folding clothes, or tidying a room has a calming effect. These small physical motions serve as closing rituals, telling the brain that the day is over. Unlike the Western habit of scrolling or gaming until collapse, these patterns ease mental chatter. Japanese students aren't trying to fall asleep. They're preparing to sleep well. None of this requires expensive tools or drastic changes. It's about consistency and intention, not perfection. Whether it's lighting a candle, playing soft music, or reading a few pages of a book, these moments matter. They create a nightly rhythm, and over time, your body begins to respond automatically, slowing down, relaxing, and recovering more deeply. In a world obsessed with multitasking, Japanese students often do the opposite, especially before bed. They don't juggle Netflix, TikTok, and texting all at once while trying to sleep. Instead, they tend to focus on one quiet activity at a time, reading, reviewing notes, or listening to soft music. This monotasking slows the brain and prepares it for a smoother descent into sleep. When your brain jumps between apps, notifications, and screens, it stays in a high alert mode. The blue light is one problem, but the real enemy is the mental stimulation. It keeps your thoughts racing, your cortisol levels elevated, and your nervous system stuck in fight or flight. Japanese students sidestep this by embracing stillness and simplicity in their pre-sleep routine. Even quiet study time before bed, done without distractions, acts as a form of mental meditation. It allows thoughts to settle and gives the brain a narrow focus. This reduces overstimulation, which is one of the biggest culprits behind shallow, restless sleep. It's not about doing less, it's about doing one thing well, with calm attention and clear boundaries. You don't need to memorize Japanese poems or practice Zen to benefit from this. Just try choosing one low-stimulation activity before bed and do it fully, without your phone nearby. The goal isn't perfection, it's presence. With repetition, your brain learns that stillness equals safety, and safety equals sleep. That's how clarity begins, one quiet habit at a time. In many Japanese schools, students are taught how to breathe, not just during exercise, but as a tool for calm and focus. Deep breathing, especially through the diaphragm, signals the body to exit stress mode and enter recovery. It's a simple, overlooked practice that unlocks deeper rest. And the best part? It takes less than a minute to begin working. When stress builds up during the day, your breath becomes shallow and fast. You may not even notice it, but your nervous system does. This state of alertness lingers into the night, keeping your brain slightly on guard, even in bed. Japanese culture subtly incorporates breathing awareness into daily life, which helps create space for the body to let go. A few slow breaths before sleep can dramatically change how your body transitions into rest. Inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 6. That's all it takes to lower your heart rate and quiet your mind. This isn't spiritual fluff, it's biology. Breathing is one of the fastest ways to shift into parasympathetic mode, where real recovery happens. You don't need incense, yoga mats, or candles. Just a quiet space and your attention. Sit still, close your eyes, and breathe with intention. These micro-practices compound over time. And once your body learns that breathing is the bridge to better sleep, it starts to associate calm breath with deep restoration. That's when the magic of true rest begins. Western culture often defines comfort by softness. Plush pillows, memory foam, thick mattresses that promise to cradle your body like a cloud. But in Japan, many students grow up sleeping on firm futons laid out over tatami mats. At first glance, it might seem harsh or outdated. Yet this minimalist approach is rooted in balance, posture, and sleep efficiency. Firm sleeping surfaces do more than save space. They naturally align the spine, prevent overheating, and reduce tossing and turning during the night. When your body feels stable and supported, your brain can fully disengage. That's why many who try futon-style sleep report fewer interruptions and more energy, even if the total hours don't change. The simplicity of the sleeping space also plays a role. In Japan, it's common to fold the futon and store it away each morning. This habit keeps the bedroom uncluttered, making it a clean, purposeful place just for rest. A tidy, distraction-free environment reduces sensory overload, and the act of setting up and packing away creates powerful sleep cues. You don't need to ditch your bed, but consider the principles behind it. Less isn't worse, it's often more effective. Create a sleep space that's cool, quiet, and uncluttered. Keep your mattress firm enough to support your frame and reserve your bed for sleep only. Your body learns through repetition, and Japanese design teaches it to rest, not resist. In many places, mornings begin with chaos, a blaring alarm, frantic scrolling, and rushed routines that jolt the brain into stress mode. But Japanese mornings, especially for students, are often built around calm, repeated actions. Folding a futon, sipping warm tea, or opening a window aren't just chores. They're wake-up anchors. These small rituals complete the sleep cycle with care. When you wake violently, your brain skips important transitions that help you feel refreshed. The sleep cycle ends abruptly, and grogginess lingers for hours. But when waking is gentle and intentional, your nervous system adjusts more smoothly. That's why Japanese students often seem more alert. Even after short nights, they don't rush the rise. These rhythms are deeply cultural, but easy to replicate. Wake up 5 minutes earlier and begin with a soft light or a simple task, stretching, breathing, or making your bed. Avoid blasting music or diving into notifications. These acts may feel small, but they train your body to wake with grace, not shock. Rhythm isn't just restful, it's energizing. Over time, these anchors become neurological triggers. Your brain recognizes the pattern and starts preparing you to feel awake before you even open your eyes. It's the opposite of snoozing and scrambling. By designing your mornings the way Japanese students do, you reclaim energy not with more sleep, but with better transitions. You don't need to sleep on a tatami mat or move to Tokyo to benefit from these habits. Start with one change. Maybe it's a warm drink before bed, a few minutes of deep breathing, or a slower wake-up routine. The goal isn't perfection, it's rhythm. Japanese students thrive not because they sleep more, but because they sleep with intention. Think of sleep like a skill, not a switch. The more consistent your pre-sleep cues and morning rituals, the more your body adapts. You'll begin to fall asleep faster, wake up clearer, and need less recovery time. These aren't hacks, they're foundations. And they compound like interest the more you repeat them. Now ask yourself, what's one habit you can build tonight that makes tomorrow feel lighter? Maybe it's turning off screens 30 minutes early. Maybe it's putting your phone outside the room. The habit doesn't need to be big. It just needs to be repeatable. Because when your body trusts a rhythm, it rewards you with deeper rest. The secret to waking up fresh isn't locked inside your DNA or a miracle product. It's already within your control. Choose one habit, stick with it, and let your body relearn how to recharge. You deserve to wake up clear, calm, and powerful, even on your busiest days. Start small tonight. Your energy tomorrow will thank you.